Good morning, this is Buckeye Gordon, and I want to talk about something that a lot of people do experience. Uh, we had an old family friend, I'll just call him Joe. His wife had passed away, and not long after that, he had gotten Alzheimer's. And he had nobody to take care of him. I wasn't married, had no other obligations at home. So the family asked me if they paid my rent at my other place, would I move in and take care of him? And I said, sure. So I moved in, and I didn't really realize how bad things were with him until one night we were sitting watching TV, and he looked over at the door and he said, "Who are you?" And I looked over, and I could tell he was a little worried. I could see it in his eyes. And I said, Joe, who are you talking to? He said, the guy at the door. I said, do you know him? He said, no. I said, what does he look like? He said, well, he's tall, long hair, dirty t-shirt and jeans. I said, have you seen him before? He said, no. And I said, Joe, there's nobody there. So he just looked for a few more seconds and then turned away. Joe loved cars. I took him to some of the car shows that they had around town. We go to garage sales, yard sales, and things like that, because he liked old things. One time I took him to his doctor appointment, and he just all of a sudden got really belligerent towards the doctor. And I tried to calm Joe down, and he just kept going. And I apologized to the doctor, and the doctor says, no need, I see this over and over again. So after talking to Joe, the doctor said, Joe, you can't drive no more. And that just pushed him over the edge. Joe loved his car. He had a nice car. He was always driving somewhere. He loved driving that car. So when we got back into the car to go home, Joe says, I'm going to show him as soon as I get home, I'm going to drive this car. So we got home. I put the car in park, turn it off. He says, now give me the keys. I said, no, Joe, I can't do that. The doctor said no. I don't want you getting hurt, and I don't want you hurting anybody else. And he got a little bit huffy with me, so I just got out of the car, went in the house, and looked out the window just to make sure he's not walking nowhere. So he came into the house. Joe really loved walking also. So I let him walk out in front for the next door neighbor's house back to his house, and he'd go back and forth for a while. And he calmed down quite a bit. And once he got tired, he came back up to the porch and sat down with me. We just sat there and talked. He was in that neighborhood for 30 years. His house was paid off. But he had some really wonderful stories about the neighborhood. He was telling me all the kind of people that lived there grew up, moved off, and another set of family will move in, and he has some good stories. Joe was a kind and gentle man. Joe wasn't able to take care of himself, like bathing himself. And so I had to bathe him for him. And I could tell he was embarrassed. I said, Joe, don't be embarrassed. I want to make sure you're taken care of, just like your family wants you to be. His son came over one Sunday to pick him up for church. And they went to church. They were getting out of the car. Joe fell on the pavement and broke broke a couple of bones. He was only 85, maybe weighed 130 pounds, soaking wet. He was a real small guy. So they rushed him to the hospital, and because of his health, he had heart issues and just about anything else you could imagine. They didn't want to operate because they didn't think he would make it through the operation. So they made him as comfortable as possible. So I went to see Joe. And, we talked about driving around to the car shows. We talked about sitting on the porch swing, and he'd tell me stories about the neighborhood. And I was getting ready to leave. He says, you won't see me no more. I said, yeah, well, Joe, I'll be back tomorrow. He goes, I won't be here. You'll be here, Joe. I'll be back tomorrow. And I left. That night I got a phone call when Joe passed away. Joe knew he was going to die. I felt good taking care of him. And I'm not tooting my horn. It's just, I always like to help people. If you have any similar experience with somebody with Alzheimer's, please let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. If you would, like this video and share it. Like this video so YouTube will pass it out to other people. This is a disease that a lot of American people are suffering from. Not to mention the caregivers. I can't imagine Joe being to the point to where he would be belligerent toward me. But there are people that suffer that. So please pass this on to other people. If you haven't already, please subscribe. Subscribe to this channel. I've got more videos coming. And I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Bye-bye.